Okay, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, it is Grandma. She has been requested. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, you have no idea who the fuck Grandma is, but this is Grandma. She says some crazy ass shit. Like my grandma before she passed. She was like, 4'2", and she was crazy shit, Jewish crazy lady. Anyway, this is Grandma, okay? And I figured on Lord's Day, on the Sunday, we're not gonna learn. We're not gonna learn. We're gonna do crazy shit. So we're gonna do Grandma shit. And it's Easter. So I'm gonna tell you the story of my little nephew, Levi, who decided he's Jewish. Okay, he's not really Jewish, but he decided he saw Uncle Jason is rich as a motherfucker, and he's like, shit, I go to Catholic school, and Uncle Jason is Jewish, so, I'm Jewish. That's what he said, I'm Jewish. So he came on vacation to Uncle Jason's house and was like, God damn, I'm motherfucking Jewish. So one day, he asked me, he said, Uncle Jason, why don't you believe in Jesus? And I'm like, shit, I gotta fucking answer this motherfucker's questions about Jesus? And I told him straight up. I said, because I'm Jewish, and, we believe in the first part of the Bible, which is before Jesus had risen, which is why we're on Easter, right? It's a perfect fucking day for this shit, Easter Sunday. So why are we Jewish? I said, Levi, we just don't believe that, Jesus had died and then he came back to life. Because when you die, you stay dead, right? You stay dead. And he said, Uncle Jason, that makes sense. That makes sense. Hold on, I think I gotta pause this shit for one second. Okay, so we're back. So, I told him, I said, we believe in Jesus, but we just don't believe Jesus died and then came back to life. That's where, the Jewishness kind of goes in. So he's like, oh, Uncle Jason, that really makes sense. That makes sense a lot. So this motherfucker went back to Catholic school. And people were talking about all sorts of shit. And this little motherfucker raised his hand. And he said, I'm Jewish. And they said, what you mean, Levi, that you're Jewish? And he goes, well, you are all dumb. And they said, what the fuck you mean we're dumb? The Catholic teacher probably was like, what do you mean, Levi? And he said, dead people can't be undead. And they go, what do you mean? He goes, Jesus died, but he can't undie. Do you know anyone that undied? And they were like, what you mean? He goes, well, I'm Jewish because I don't believe people can be undead. And they sent this little motherfucker to the principal's office. And he told the principal, who's like a Catholic priest, the same shit. You're dumb because people can't undie. Woo-wee! They called his mom and they called his grandma, and then his mom and grandma called Uncle Jason and was like, what the fuck did you tell Levi? And I said, I just told the motherfucker the truth. I don't know anyone that undied. Do you? And they were not happy about that. Oftentimes people are not unhappy. Oftentimes people are not happy with Uncle Jason because he says the shit that comes out of his mind. And I still stand by my truth, even though it's Easter. God forbid, don't strike me down, Jesus, I'm sorry. Even though it's Easter, you can't undie. Do you know anyone who's undead? I don't. So I stand by it. And guess what? Levi stands by it too, because he is Jewish. But we had a conversation with Levi, and I said, listen, sometimes you can't tell people some things you're not supposed to tell them. Don't tell people that their religion is wrong, because people take that very seriously. And he was like, okay, Uncle Jason, I get it. And I said, cool, we Jewish? We Jewish. Daps. And that is my YouTube for the day. Happy Easter Sunday, people.